The rain-soaked streets of Seattle reflected flickering streetlights as a power outage plunged an entire block into darkness, and in that moment of chaos, one quiet decision would change two lives forever. A woman in a worn work jacket stepped out of an aging service van, her boots splashing through puddles as she prepared to restore power to a building that barely paid enough to cover the cost of her tools. What she didn't know was that the man waiting inside, pretending to be just another desperate homeowner, was a billionaire in disguise, carrying a test worth $1 million, and watching to see what kind of person she truly was when no one else was looking. If you believe in kindness, honesty, and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, because stories like this remind us that character still matters. Hannah Whitmore was 34 years old, a licensed electrician with grease-stained hands and tired eyes that had seen too many unpaid invoices. Life had not been gentle with her. After losing her husband in a workplace accident years earlier, she was left to raise her young daughter alone while trying to keep a struggling electrical repair business alive. Most days were spent racing from job to job, hoping customers wouldn't cancel or argue over fees. She worked through sickness, exhaustion, and loneliness, telling herself that dignity was found in effort, not comfort. That night's call had come late, flagged as urgent, and Hannah accepted it without hesitation despite knowing the client lived in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city. Inside the darkened building stood Thomas Caldwell, a 56-year-old tech billionaire known publicly for ruthless business deals and privately for his skepticism about human integrity. Dressed in faded jeans, a wrinkled flannel shirt, and scuffed shoes, he blended perfectly into the role of a struggling property owner. Years of success had given him money but robbed him of trust. He believed generosity was often a performance and honesty a luxury people abandoned under pressure. That belief was why he had arranged this test, disguising his identity and creating a situation that would reveal the truth of a stranger's character. As Hannah worked through the building's faulty wiring, she discovered the problem was far more severe than expected. The repair would take hours, require additional materials, and cost far more than the original estimate. Her mind raced with calculations, knowing that honesty might mean losing the job entirely. She thought of her daughter asleep at home, the overdue rent notice on the kitchen table, and the stack of unpaid invoices in her glove compartment. Still, she documented every issue carefully, refusing to take shortcuts that could endanger lives later. Integrity, to her, was not a slogan but a habit formed through hardship. Thomas watched silently as Hannah worked methodically, explaining the risks and refusing to cut corners even when it clearly cost her time and money. To push the test further, he introduced the temptation he had planned for weeks. A briefcase containing $1 million sat in plain sight, presented as an untraceable offer in exchange for falsifying reports and rushing unsafe repairs. He expected hesitation, perhaps justification, or even quiet acceptance. What he witnessed instead unsettled him deeply. Hannah's reaction was immediate and visceral. The sight of the money made her chest tighten, not with desire, but with pain. She thought of everything it could fix, every fear it could erase. Yet she also saw the invisible cost, the risk to families, the betrayal of her own values, the example it would set for her child. She refused the offer without spectacle, choosing safety and honesty over unimaginable relief. In that moment, tears welled in her eyes, not from weakness, but from the weight of always doing the right thing when the world rarely rewarded it. The test ended there. Thomas revealed his true identity, and the truth landed like a thunderclap. The man she believed was ordinary was anything but. But the revelation wasn't followed by applause or dramatic gestures. Instead, Thomas was overwhelmed by emotion he hadn't expected. For the first time in decades, he saw proof that integrity could exist without an audience. Hannah's quiet strength broke something open inside him, reminding him of the values he had buried beneath ambition. What followed changed Hannah's life, though not in the way she imagined. Thomas paid her full invoice, then quietly offered her a contract to oversee electrical safety across multiple properties, ensuring stable income and long-term security. The $1 million was placed into a trust for her daughter's education and for expanding Hannah's business, with no strings attached beyond one request, to continue being exactly who she already was. Before the story ends, take a moment to comment below and share what this story made you feel, or whether you believe honesty still matters in today's world. Hannah cried that night, not because of the money, but because someone had finally seen her. Thomas, too, was changed, learning that wealth meant nothing if it wasn't used to protect and uplift people like her. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and engage with this video so it can reach others who need a reminder that doing the right thing is never wasted. In a city lit again by restored power, two lives crossed paths, and both were forever transformed by a single honest choice.